The French had gone into Vietnam as protractor of French Indochina, a colony. The peoples of Vietnam and the neighboring countries had been fighting for generations. The French were having trouble controlling population who felt the French were invaders. The French lost a major battle at Dien Bien Phu, March 13th to March 7th, 1954, and began to withdraw from Vietnam in 1959. President Eisenhower sent advisors, Green Berets, and Special Forces to help train the South Vietnamese military in an attempt to hold back the tide of communist forces. Sonoma County's first casualty was a Special Force advisor in 1961, 3 years before the war was declared. Attack fighter. The world's first carrier-based supersonic fighter, this Vought F-8 Crusader joined the fleet in the last weeks of 1956. In the years 1962 to 1964, saw increases in the buildup of conflict. The political atmosphere in Indochina region was one of the communist takeover. Kennedy was determined to stop the spread of communism, which at that time was known as the domino theory. In August 1964, North Vietnam gunboats were reported to have attacked two American destroyers, the USS Maddox and USS Turner Joy, off the coast of Vietnam, known as the Tonkin Gulf Incident. President Johnson then called on Congress to pass the Tonkin Gulf Resolution, which opened the door for American forces to intervene. Attacks were conducted by air from American aircraft carriers for the opening of the Vietnam War. The first combat troops came ashore at Da Nang March 8th, 1965. The buildup of American forces was underway. Combat troops in Vietnam March 8th, 1965 to March 29th, 1973. 9 years of combat, which peaked in 1969 with 549,000 in theater. 1973, President Nixon signed the Paris Peace Accords, ending direct U.S. involvement in Vietnam. Materials and equipment would continue to flow to South Vietnamese government in support of their defense efforts. The last American combat troops left Vietnam on March 29th, 1973. The date has been designated by Congress as Vietnam Veterans Day. On April 30th, 1975, Vietnam fell to the Communist forces all over the United States. There were feelings of loss for many families and military now stained with withdrawal. After 15 years of involvement, 9 of the which saw combat, 59 lives were lost from Sonoma County, and 58,300 were lost from across the nation. It was a sad time. Healing continues for Vietnam veterans and their families in our country. The Bell UH-1H Huey utility helicopter. The Bell Model 204 was designed in 1954 to meet the U.S. Army's need for a military helicopter to use in casualty evacuations, troops carrying, and pilot training.
Did you get a picture of the front of it? It has a name on it.
Here's another QR code. The Swarovski H-34 Chatwa transport close support helicopter. Adopted in 1954, the H-34 Chatwa was one of the most widely used choppers in the Vietnam War before the introduction of the Huey, with over 1,800 produced. Here's another QR code.